Here we are at the end of Dragon Slayers Academy, Chapter 9. Remember that yesterday Wiglaf tricked the dragon into dying through telling terrible jokes to him. Found out his weakness. Did the villagers have to grab every last bit of Gorzel's hoard? Eric grumbled. By this time, Eric had fetched his sword, and Wiglaf and Eric had found Gawain and Zelda and switched clothes again. Eric told Zelda he was sorry about the burned spots on her dress. She was so loaded with gold she didn't seem to mind at all. Now Wiglaf and Eric were back on the path to DSA. This time Eric pulled the cart. I'm all for taking from the rich and giving to the poor, Eric went on. But could not the villagers have left us a few gold coins? How will we ever face Mordred empty-handed? Gorzel stole from the villagers, Wiglaf reminded him. It only seems fair they should get their own gold back. I suppose, muttered Eric. With a sigh, he dragged the cart over a rocky patch of ground. Are you sure you want to pull the cart? Wiglaf asked him. It's the least I can do, Eric told Wiglaf, for in truth, you did slay the mighty dragon. Wiglaf blushed on hearing Eric's words. I could never have done it without you, Eric, he said. It was a clever plan, and you surely fooled Gorzel into thinking you were a girl. For a moment, Eric was silent. Then he stopped and turned to Wiglaf. There is something I should like to tell you, he said gravely. Pray tell, Wiglaf answered. 'Tis a secret, Eric warned him. Will you swear to keep it? I swear on my sword, Wiglaf promised, and he lifted Shurkill into the air. My real name, Eric told him, is Erica. Oh, did you know? Have you guessed this all along? Eric is really a girl named Erica. Egad, Wiglaf exclaimed. Your parents gave you a girl's name? No, I am a girl, dummy. In fact, I'm a princess. Princess Erica, daughter of Queen Barb and King Ken. Wiglaf's mouth dropped open. I always longed for a life of adventure, Erica explained. When I saw the notice for Dragon Slayers Academy, I begged my parents to let me go, and at last they agreed. But when I arrived at school, Frypot said Mordred would never admit a girl. It was good old Frypot's plan to dress me as a boy. He keeps my secret, and in return, I empty his eel traps. Zounds, Wiglaf exclaimed. Then he added, Forgive me, your highness. None of that highness stuff, the princess growled. She drew her silvery sword and waved it at Wiglaf. You must call me only Eric, and do not slip up. No one at school must know my secret, not until I get my Dragon Slayers Academy diploma. If you tell anyone, I shall make you very, very sorry. I shall never say a word, Wiglaf promised, and if I do, you may tell my secret. Your secret? See this lucky rag tied to the hilt of my sword? Wiglaf asked. It's, the last bit of my baby blanket. Erica smiled. Indeed, that is not something you would want to get around. Ah, so that's what the rag is. Keeps coming up. She gave a yank to the cart handle and started down the path again. Now, Erica went on, let us go over the story we shall tell back at DSA. Since we have no gold, we must make the most of our adventure. A fine idea, Wiglaf agreed. I think, Erica began, that we should start by telling how I bravely lured Gorzel out of his cave, and how I scared him near to death when I brandished my silvery sword, and then when he least expected it. As Erica talked on, Wiglaf let his own thoughts wander. He had become a hero, just as the minstrel had said, and without spilling a single drop of blood. Daisy would be so proud of me, Wiglaf thought, and wouldn't Fergus and Malvina and his 12 unwashed brothers be surprised when they learned that he was Wiglaf of Penwick, Dragon Slayer. Yep, that's the end. There are other books, and you do find out what that baby blanket rag is about in the future books of Dragon Slayers Academy. So let's talk about the theme. Did a character learn a lesson? Did Wiglaf learn a lesson? Did Wiglaf learn that sometimes you can get your way without violence? I think he did. I think we could say that he learned that lesson. So the theme might be sometimes in life you can reach a goal without being violent. That's a good one. When a character makes a discovery. So what does Wiglaf discover? Well, Wiglaf discovers the dragon's weakness. Is that a theme? And Wiglaf discovers that Eric is really a girl. What does that discovery tell us? things aren't always the way they seem. You can't judge a book by its cover. You've heard those themes before. Maybe the author's trying to tell us that you need to look a little closer before you make a judgment about what something is. Can't always tell that you know something about a person. How about when a character feels conflicting emotions? We've talked about this a lot, that Wiglaf is a sensitive person, but he does want to be a hero and to be strong against evil. So I think the author's trying to tell us that sometimes in life you have to be true to yourself and follow through with your dream, even if it's hard for you to do, which it was hard for Wiglaf to do that. How about when we see the mistakes or flaws? We talked about Mordred and his longing for gold, but what about Eric, known as Erica? What is his flaw? Erica, really wants to be a hero and isn't really able to see the good in other people. She grudgingly admitted that Wiglaf had slain the dragon, but when she was getting ready to tell the story back at school, she was definitely glorifying herself. So what would the author be teaching us? What's the theme there? The characters that think the highest of themselves might not be the most glorious, or sometimes when you're humble, you're the true hero. I don't know. Themes are kind of interesting things, aren't they? Because you can use the data or the evidence in the story to make a theme answering these questions, and then you have to go through and find some more evidence and see if that's what the author might have been teaching. Once we wrote to Kate DiCamillo and we told her some of the themes that we saw, and she said, "Really? I didn't know that was in my books." So it's really what happens between the reader and the book that makes the theme come alive. So I hope that you're doing that with your books today. I'm going to include a picture of this chart that I've been using today so that you can think about your books in terms of themes. You don't have to be finished with the book. Obviously, we've talked about themes all the way through this book, and you should do the same with yours. Themes are super important. Grow some ideas. Okay, bye-bye.